All right, here we go. So, kittens getting into mischief. Nice. All right. How are we looking, everybody? Can you guys hear us and all that jazz? Turn on some of this stuff. Okay. You know what I also want to do? I'll turn on my Hummingbot window. So I don't like accidentally expose my non KYC. Yeah, and API key. Yeah, exactly. Speaking towards my mic. Yeah, I really gotta work on that. I gotta work on my mic work. See if I can pull this over here. I'm always catching feedback for this. Okay. Let me add it. Yeah, I have this microphone in front of me. Yeah. So sometimes I like drift away from it. Part of me thinks yeah, part of me thinks they like just giving me L. I'm not sure. It's okay though.
Does it involve Force Gen?
I don't know if he's on here right now. Don't look like it. Like giving people hell? Definitely. Okay, looks like we have a couple folks in the chat on Twitch. Yeah, okay, looking good. Correct. Yeah. I think it's got a nice aesthetic. The colors on your background seem to match the chat usernames a little bit. Slightly. All right. Mm. Slash Hummingbot. All right. It is. Okay. You. Lisa. Okay. Screen capture. Capture. It should have said Hummingbot. Alright, I guess I'll just do it again. No. Okay. our chat has become long enough. Oh, okay. So the bottom of it is, yeah, let's see if this is legible with it being that small. All right. Transition. Okay. There we go. Can everyone even read that? Let's look. See if we can make that bigger. Actually, maybe I'll just make that the main window. And then just put us over it. I'm just gonna try and make our windows a bit smaller. And then I suppose just make this bigger. I don't know if we need. Yeah, let's just put the chat on top too. Oh man, that looks wild. I think we'll just move the chat down a little bit more. We'll just display less chat history. Boom. All right, here we go. How's that? All right, I think if we got the model of that mic, we can rifle through the instruction manual to help him out. Yeah. Ah, okay, no worries. That would be a really hard problem to solve, you know, because it's like, you might automatically think, oh, just unmute it, you know, if they start talking, you know, detect voice, but then that could also be very disastrous. All right, Raptorm co-founder. All right, from the Discord channel posted live. Okay. Ah, yes. Okay. So yeah, I guess we have to do a proper introduction. Thank you for joining the YadaCoin show. I am Matt Vogel, and I'm joined here with David Morris, and we're going to be talking about some trading strategies and doing a little Hummingbot workshop potentially, and covering some other topics. David, how are you today? Good, good, good. Okay, so oh, okay. Yeah, it's like you say it was like 3 in the morning or something like that right now for you? Mm. Yeah. Yeah, all good. I actually had to get up at 10 a.m. on a Sunday today this, especially for our chat, which I think we're both on the same wavelength that's a little early to be waking up on a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, true. All right, so I have this interface open, and I already have an arbitrage strategy set up. I'm getting a message from my producer. One moment. What's up? Okay, it looks like you might be muted still. Let me check it out real quick. Audio input capture. Yeah. I can hear you, but I think that other folks cannot. So let me just make sure that they can hear you. How about now? Go ahead and say something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, guys. It's 3:20 a.m. here in the middle of nowhere.
Nice. All right. Okay. All right. There, they can hear now.
We live? I'm here. Whoa.
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
Look at the chat just light up with excitement now. They can hear you. They're like, oh, we can only hear Matt. Ugh. They're like, put David on. We want David. All right. So I have only really played around with this Hummingbot thing a little bit. I have not that much information on it. However, I did make a trading strategy. So I guess in the chat, I think it would be good. Let me get to the microphone. Is anybody going to be like actually setting this up right now? Like installing it? Do you guys want to I guess in the chat, kind of follow along, like getting set up to where we can actually because it's not that painful of a setup. But up to you guys. Because we could just talk about how to use it instead of going through all that jazz. But it really just amounts to like downloading. Now this is all like if you're doing it on like Linux, right? If you're doing it on Windows and Mac OS, then kind of on your own. You know what? I think we're not going to do the setup part because the latest master branch that I downloaded, I had to adjust some of the source now that I think about it, just to get it to pass. I had to like recast some variables because it wasn't compiling. Like there was like a difference in the newest compiler version. All right. Yeah, and Schaefer, if we can always like do another cast where I can like show how to set it up, but this is more like yeah, let's just go and just show how this kind of works. So let me
arbitrage is one of the only safe trading strategies there is out there.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about arbitrage a little bit. And what got me interested in this whole Hummingbot thing is you were talking about how how some folks could be using these trading bots to do arbitrage and get profits from our markets, and then I guess sell YadaCoin back to like USDT, and then a little, yeah, and then selling that for USDT, and then bringing that into either their own piggy bank or into other markets. And
I seem to be getting all the audio twice, and that's really confusing.
yes, all right, second here, and then oh, you know what? I bet that's because let me get my audio on Zoom. Is that better? Yes. How's that? Is that better? If I... Oh, well, you can't hear me if I do that. Is that better?
It sounds a lot better.
Okay.
I don't hear. You had you had a speaker feeding the mic at your end. Yeah.
Okay, so I have the mic. I have the mic hooked up on Zoom. I'm just trying to figure out where else you're getting audio from. You might be getting audio from the live. Not sure. So I have the mic. I think I can hear myself through your speakers, but you have a headset on, so I'm not sure why that's happening.
It's not from here because everything is from my headset.
Right, okay. Matt, your volume keeps going up and down. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do one audio test here. Testing. Can you hear this?
Okay, I can hear some music in the background.
Testing.
Yeah.
Okay, is it doubling up still?
It seems to not be. There's sort of a...
Doubling up still?
It's doubling up in loops, apparently.
There's gotta be something that OBS is. The volume of my voice goes up and down randomly. Hello. Alright, how about this? How about I just mute myself after? Right. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I get time lapsed. Like you've just said, how about I just mute myself after I'm done talking? You've said that twice now. You're coming through in like little doubled loops of 10 seconds, something like that.
Have the live stream open?
I've got the lime yeah.
Okay. Are they muted? That will. The audio might be coming through on those.
Yeah, the live stream is muted.
Do I have the live stream? Up, I don't. Where's this phantom voice coming from? I have audio capture. I have one media source. I guess I have my desktop noises going, but that's so that I can capture your sound. And then, oh, I guess I have, oh, I see. That shouldn't be. Yeah, no, that's not it. Okay.
You sound a lot more consistent now than you did before.
Okay. Here, let me type in the chat in my question, and then you can just answer that, and then we can figure this out in a second.
Sure. Okay. I don't see anything coming through in any of the chats. Not on the Twitch one, not on... I closed the YouTube one. And I don't see anything in the Zoom chat either.
Oh yeah, just I think there's like a delay on the video. It'll probably pop up there in a second.
Okay, now my meeting has disappeared in Zoom. This is just glorious.
OBS really is, I don't know, a real piece of work. Okay. Like it's great,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Because it like crashes randomly a lot of times too.
Can't do this, can't do that, can't run on Ubuntu 24. And God help you if you try to run an NVIDIA driver in a persistent state at the same time.
What's up, Black Hackins? We have Chemical Soldier. We have Scafer.
I think I might just try to reconnect because this Zoom thing has spazzed out completely. I can't actually see the call.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's
It's
what's going on.
no, hold on. Hold on.
Hmm?
Hold on. That's no. Yeah. Eh. No, I'm gonna hop off and reconnect. Just a sec.
Okay. Cyberhouse Lord, how's it going? Okay, everybody, we're gonna play rock, paper, scissors. On the count of three. On three, you have to say what you chose. Ready? 1, 2, rock. Okay, Schaefer and I tied.
Okay. So, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Does it still sound like I'm in a cave or a canyon?
Yeah, you've got a slightly weird echo on. Yeah.
The only thing that I think could be happening is that I'm like monitoring. Oh, that could be that I'm monitoring my microphone. But then I would hear it in my own headphones.
I have no idea, to be honest. It's one of the few pieces of software I have learned by trial and error that I do not want to mess with.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Let me look at advanced audio, monitor, and output. Yeah, no, monitoring is only on for these music media sources. I don't have monitoring on for anything else. And if I get rid of your audio, then
Yeah, then I can't hear anything or respond to anything because I have no idea what's going on.
Chemical Soldier says you both need to mute the streams you're on. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, my laptop is muted, and also not even on my desktop computer.
Yeah. It's running without noise cancellation, and YouTube is muted. But anyway,
So is it confusing when you talk? I mean, can I just kind of shoot you this question and then you just kind of roll with it?
yeah, shoot away. Ah,
Okay.
I can see now the question. It's on the Twitch chat.
Perfect.
Okay. So yeah, because there is quite a bit of a spread on Yada on many of the exchanges. You can see from the pictures, or well, no, not the pictures, the screens that Matt has up from his Hummingbot. You can see that some people are picking up free money, Matt included. All you've got to do to arbitrage is basically have money, USDT, and coin in place on a couple of exchanges. And then when the price difference gets to your desired profit level, you buy on one and sell on the other. It's risk-free trade. It allows you to sit on the markets and leech them which is very counterproductive in the long run. This is one of the few places where community can actually do just as good a job as a professional market maker who costs thousands of bucks a month by helping out running something like, in this case, Hummingbot. Or there are other options. You can also build your own. You could just build a script with a couple of API keys in, and then see how far you can get with that, connecting between a couple of exchanges. The only thing about it is rebalancing. So try to get set up to where you can withdraw in the cheapest possible manner. If that's USDT on XLM, if that's in Yada, figure it out, work with it, and take it from there.
Excellent.
Because if there are enough members of the community doing this, there will not be anybody from the outside leeching your markets.
Right. So this is essentially, the point that I was trying to get at with the announcement is that, we kind of need a few folks doing this so that, we're just basically, it's like a defense initially, really, right? And then, just so that we can keep the liquidity in our markets, right?
Yep, exactly. Because then you just put up bigger supporting orders. If you're getting money coming in for free, basically for nothing, you just put up gradually larger and larger supporting orders on the price side, but you remove them back a little bit further than where you made money on them, so they don't just disappear and get eaten and go into the cycle. And that way you will sort of organically build up considerable levels of liquidity in the project. Once that starts happening, it'll gradually get more and more attractive for people to come in to trade on. It'll gradually become a lot more interesting.
Let me pause you real quick. All right, so there. Hmm. Is he in there? $104. The hell? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I saw him in there. What the hell? Oh. Yeah, he was in there.
It's like he dropped.
Oh, the
Oh, the
meeting
meeting
is
is
ended.
ended.
Okay, try again. Sorry about this, everybody. Gotta bounce. Carry on, nerds. Yeah, no. Harsh. We have technical difficulties. David Morris. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Nah, no problems. No
All
problems.
right.
I know how painful it can be.
All right. All right. Good to go. Okay. So
Well,
I think what happened is that I was like earlier. I think that I was actually on this meeting from my laptop and I didn't know it. Anyway, the audio should be better this time. Is that correct?
it seems like it to me.
Okay, so let's just pick up where we left off. So we're talking about leeching liquidity from other markets and sort of taking a defensive role by having the community strike up these hummingbot instances, doing arbitrage. And so that's just basically a way for us to defend against liquidity, I guess, exiting our market. And so, given that, we can actually employ that strategy to bring additional liquidity into our markets by performing arbitrage on non-YADA markets. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could bring, but I mean, at the same time, the main thing to do is to stop the leeching. Once the leeching is stopped, you've really achieved the main goal, which is people picking up free money from your markets.
Right.
You want to get to a situation where the price is within 0.5% across all your markets. And to do that in a realistic manner, you have to be automated and then hit it as soon as it starts going outside that range.
Okay.
0.5% should leave you with enough to cover 2 times the usual trade fees plus maybe a 0.1% to cover the rebalancing costs of transfers between exchanges. But by all means, don't set it that low initially, unless you've got a ton of time and money to sit and rebalance, because rebalancing is what takes the most time.
And you're referring... Okay.
The rebalancing is basically when you, for example, let's say you've sold on one market and bought on another market. You want to rebalance so you've still got an equal amount of USDT and YADA on each market so you can continue trading seamlessly. You need to maintain both. So if you've got exchanges in the mix who are difficult to withdraw from or who aren't particularly trustworthy, it can be a bit of a risk. You can minimize that risk by rebalancing more frequently, like putting 100 USDT on there and 100 USDT's worth of YADA, if you feel up to the job of automating the withdrawal process as well, for the sake of rebalancing.
Okay, so you're talking about rebalancing as like leveling up the amount of liquidity you have available on each platform?
Not just leveling it up, more like leveling it out, so you can continue trading the same amounts of volume. Because otherwise, where you frequently buy, you will very quickly run out of USDT. But I mean, if you only need to rebalance once every 2 days manually, that's perfectly fine. But if, let's say, you've got 3 or 4 exchanges, and out of those 3 or 4, one of them is a bit sketchy, more than a bit sketchy, it's a good idea to only leave a smaller amount on there. The problem with leaving smaller amounts on there is you have to rebalance more frequently. You can automate rebalancing. I wouldn't use Hummingbot's automation for rebalancing, though. Not because I've got anything against them or anything like that. It's just they are kind of a prime target, and there will be somebody running a little scraper or sniffer or something like that, going around looking at all the IPs and seeing if you're running one.
So are these, that's what I was wondering, is like, are these trading bots like frowned upon by the exchanges?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. The more professional exchanges rather like them.
Yeah.
Because the other option with something like Hummingbot here is to do what's called liquidity mining. Liquidity mining, you take and generate a read-only key or a view-only key that goes to a third party. And then what you do is you use your bot to maintain liquidity within 0.5% of spot. And every time you do that over, as long as you're doing that over, let's say, however long a period you're running liquidity mining for, you will earn some YADA from whatever marketing funds or pooled funds are available for supporting the competition.
Oh, I see. I see. So you're talking about incentivizing folks to add market depth to any of our given markets. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things that Hummingbot works really well for. It was actually what it was originally designed to do. They got grants from several of the very large exchanges who have run. You won't just earn rewards, for example, from YADA, from the project. You will also earn rewards from Hummingbot themselves and Hummingbot tokens. If it's one of their partner exchanges you're dealing with. I'm not sure if you guys are listed on one of their partner exchanges at the moment, but it's overall pretty neat, really, because if you do this, you can save a considerable amount of money on a market maker. Once you get to the stage of wanting to grow and needing to grow, apart from good listings, you also have to have a decent market maker. And market makers charge around, well, for the decent ones, they charge from roughly $1,000 per month per pair if you commit for a longer period of time. But that means they're on it 24/7. There is human support. There are decent people you can talk to and communicate with, and you provide them the API keys to whatever amount of required liquidity you mutually agree to as being necessary for market making operations.
So what are they actually doing?
They're placing buy and sell orders that support directional movement. If, for example, they can see, they will also track exchange inflows. So if they can see that somebody has just sent a very large amount of coin to an exchange, they will lower the price before they have a chance to sell them. In order to protect the liquidity of the project, basically.
So they're sort of like a market defender in a way.
They will also try to, let's say somebody decides to whale it up. They sell a dash node or two and decide to put that into YADA. So they will then go in and place orders that support the moves upwards that this market buying has created. They're not going to follow it all the way to the top, to the peak, but they are going to have staircased orders before massive market buy happens. They will have staircased orders sort of going up through the whole thing. And that means if a big market buy spikes the price 10, 15, 20%, and that's easily done on a relatively small market, there will be support orders because these come back as buy orders 3, 4, 5% lower, depending on where they believe it's sustainable to place them. It might be if the spike is very heavy and not on an exchange where there's usually a lot of good sell volume, they might decide to only place the orders 10% below where it spiked to, because they think that people are just going to move in more coin and dump onto it. So it's they kind of, it's risk management basically.
Interesting. So,
and then outside of the scope of all that, if they see a chance to generate some profit, for example, by arbitrage trading between a couple of your markets, if they're managing more than one of them, they'll do so. Or if they believe that there is a big buy incoming that you've told them about, anything that's going to be a little bit below where that buy is going to be, they're going to buy it up and then put it in a bit higher in order to try to generate some profit also for the project.
Okay.
And I mean, for a project with no pre-mine, no dev fee, nothing like that, this is actually a crucial component in order to be able to liquidate some funds that you can then use for paying server bills, paying if you need help with outside development, that all that kind of stuff. This is sort of where the nitty gritty of all that comes in, and you can manage it if you've got enough decent people on the project backing it with donations, etc.
Gupcoin, welcome to the stream. Well, okay, so yeah, because I think maybe a misconception some people have is that market making, wash trading and like manipulate things. So I don't know.
No, I mean, the primary function of them is basically doing the stuff I'm talking about. Some of them will also wash trade if there's somebody else buying up coin so that it looks like it's being bought up with a bigger volume. If the buying volume is sufficiently large, that will usually bring in more people. If it brings in more people, there will be a bigger pump, etc., etc., etc.
I see how that could work. Yeah, because if somebody spent, I guess, $50 on Yada right now, it would probably pump the price pretty high, but that just really represents the slippage.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why they would need to start off with liquidity protection, build it using that extra liquidity gained from arbitrage to feed the order book on both sides, to continually grow things. They would also need to have sufficient operating capital to start with. I mean, if you want to get on larger exchanges, they won't accept a spread bigger than 2%, really.
Right.
They get rather unhappy if you've got more than 2% spread.
So, yeah, and so I think that's super important, and again, that's why I wanted to chat and have you on and kind of explain that to people. Is this making sense, chat? By the way, I've always wanted to address chat that way. Like all the Gen Zers be like, chat. Is this
Man.
making is this making
we have Gen Z people in here? Gen Alphas and Millennials? I'm solidly Gen X.
Yeah, I think I'm like in between Gen X and Millennial. I was in the early 80s, so like that awkward time before. Yeah, I don't know how to actually define Gen X. Like they're not like the children of baby boomers necessarily.
Usually.
Yeah, they are.
Or some of the silent generation if they got started late in life.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't identify as a millennial or a Gen X. So yeah, it's just like this weird awkward time between the two. Um, but yeah, I digress. So Yada to the moon. Schaefer, yes, makes sense. Okay. I told you, Matt, about the Flex exchange. Remember? I am providing liquidity to a few coins on that exchange. Right. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this seems like a doable, totally legitimate, above board, something that everybody can like get on board with. Um, like it
Yeah.
seems like there's
Yeah.
no
I
reason.
mean, Hummingbot is a brilliant way of doing it. Yeah. If
Yeah,
you
it's
can get enough people working on it and they can commit like $100, $200 on each side of the order book, it's got to be on each side of the order book, mind.
okay. So they need so like what would I tell people like is the bare minimum on each side of the order book that they would need to have.
It depends on how much time they have on their hands, really.
Okay.
If they're sitting at home with literally nothing to do, then it's a question of how many times a day do they want to rebalance things.
I see.
Uh, but I mean, that can also sort of start costing in withdrawal fees if you're doing it that frequently. It should be so you can trade and not really have to rebalance more than once a day or once every other day. That's what usually makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's an excellent. Okay, that makes sense to me. So, yeah, so the you need a couple $100 just because Yada is a very small market still, um, but as you buy, um, you don't want to have to, well, the funds will diminish to a point to where you'll have to like withdraw from somebody somewhere else and deposit here, and this rebalancing thing can just cost a lot of money, and so that's why you want that extra buffer of a couple $100 because you don't want to have to rebalance it.
Yeah. I mean, unless you've got something like Lightning BTC between the exchanges, or if you've got XLM, USDT, or something like that, which literally costs almost nothing. I don't know what Yada transaction fees are like, but I assume that it's preferable to move Yada around compared to USDT.
Yeah, we have basically zero fees right now because the transaction volume doesn't exceed
Yeah.
1,000 transactions per block at this point. So you only get into transaction fee preferential. Other than that, there
Oh,
really aren't any fees.
I'll be back in just a second. I've got to go and let my dog out.
No worries. All right, so I think there are some critical answers and like being provided here. I didn't want it to just be like from me. I wanted folks to hear it from someone from another project who's done it and kind of vouch for the process. And I think that this will be good for anybody that's watching this stream at another time, and we can do some clips and whatnot, kind of explaining how this works in shorter tidbits, teasing out the value from this stream. So while David's away, let me just kind of do a little bit of Hummingbot tour. First of all, is it like, are you guys familiar with Hummingbot? Is this feels like a question that I should have asked like at the beginning. How familiar are you? Never heard of it personally. Okay. Not familiar with it, but understand the concept. Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I didn't want this to just be like review or something, writing that you're not getting value out of. Because personally, I found this to be fascinating. It does a lot of this stuff for you. So you're basically like configuring these strategies, right? So after you get Hummingbot configured, more or less, well, I wonder if I can just exit out of here. Yeah. So if I go here, it's really just like you do a command line and you start that way. Remember my own password. Yeah, okay. So that's how you get logged in. That's how you start. But that's essentially like the very beginning is you're compiling the application from source, or you can run it as a Docker process. And then you get this interface. And then from there, you say like connect, and then you can select all of the you can select from the supported platforms. So you have like Biconomy, and for us it would be non KYC. So when you do non KYC, it's gonna say, oh, do you want to replace your existing API key? Say no. Hopefully I don't goof anything up, but then it would ask you your secret key, and then that would be essentially connected at that point. So from there, you'll be able to use the non KYC connector, and then from there, you'll have to come up with a strategy, right? And so let's look here. So I think it's called, I think it's create strategy. So yeah, enter the strategy name. So I would say arb2, and then, oh, sorry, you actually have to enter a valid strategy name. So
AMM market making is, sorry, AMM, not market making, AMM arbitrage is probably one of the best ones to use. It's the simplest because it's essentially just what works on price difference. It doesn't work on anything else.
right. So I would select AMM arb, and then enter my first connector, and then that would be my non KYC connector, and then enter the token trading pair you would like to trade on, and then that would be YDA. And so it's using the connector to tease out the markets that are available on that platform. So in this case, it's grabbed Yada BTC and Yada USDT. So I already have a Yada USDT arbitrage strategy. So I'll add BTC and my second connector. Okay, so yeah, because it's an arbitrage, so it needs to compare. Actually, I've already done this. Yeah, I did already. Anyway, we'll just. Okay, so we're only on one supported market right now, or one supported platform that's non KYC. But you could enter. You could be comparing prices between Biconomy or Binance or whatever if we were on the platforms. But right now we're just configuring it to compare price differences between the two different markets that we're on non KYC. So we're asking it to compare So we're asking it to do arbitrage between our BTC market and our USDT market. Okay. And so I would say, so I selected BTC before, so now I would select USDT. So what is the amount of YADA per order? Well, I think that there's an order minimum. So I think it has to be above the minimum. I'm not quite sure. See, this is where I get a little bit.
What, $1 in value?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they said it has to be like more. I was getting some errors. It said it had to be. I had this set to 1, and it was like your minimum value is like. What is the minimum amount of? See, that's what I didn't get because I had that set at 1, and then it said I wasn't hitting the minimum for the order.
Yeah, but that would be if you set it to 1 YADA instead of 1 US. Oh, sorry, 1 USDT. It's all these bots. The one thing that'll drive you absolutely crazy is the syntax, because it's got to be 100% right according to whoever wrote it. Never mind what makes sense and is logical.
Right. Yeah, the decimal places are an issue.
Decimal places are a big problem, especially if some places, if you're trying to arbitrage against a DEX where they let you trade the full range of decimals, 18 on EVM tokens, and you're trying to arbitrage that against a SEX where there are only 3 or 4.
Right.
That can get rather hinky.
Yeah.
But if anybody is interested in finding out more about Hummingbot, I've just posted a link to their Discord in the chat, and it's a pretty active place, and there are lots of little workshops on from time to time, so you can learn more about how to do different things, all of it free of charge. And really, if you do get good with Hummingbot, you can make a lot of money with it. Well, relatively a lot of money with it, doing things like liquidity mining, as I mentioned earlier, on some of the bigger projects, on some of their coins. There are many options for it.
Awesome. Let's look at this question. So I can do that on my Mac. Yes, it will run for Mac.
If you have the right Python version installed, or if you use the Docker container, because then it just doesn't matter.
Correct. Yeah, the Python version did matter a lot actually when I was setting it up from source. Did not like the latest version of Python. Okay, so I think that is like, so I think we've covered like the overall concept and like the impetus for doing it. Like, why are we doing this? But, and I think that maybe we don't need to, do necessarily a deep dive into, well, we've covered the basic concepts of the tour, right? We've covered, how it, what the interface looks like how you interact with it, just from like a command line standpoint. We've talked about the connectors and how that makes sense to connect it to the various platforms that we're on, or wherever you want to perform arbitrage. Then how to sort of configure the markets that you want to monitor arbitrage opportunities between. So we haven't. So we could go into further detail, like I think in other subsequent streams. Yeah, I guess we don't want to do like an exhaustive thing, right? But yeah, I
I
think
mean,
this.
sorry, uh, if you guys want to do something like, for example, crowdfund a DEX trade connector so you can get more stuff running that way, I believe that Sai, who is in the Discord, actually has very good Python skills, should be able to do that for you guys. Make a connector for you.
I think he helped us out in the very early stages. He was with Bismuth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's
Yadegg is his name on our server, I think.
yeah, because he runs Eggpool.
Excellent. Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to talk to him. I think I'm not sure if there's a there doesn't appear to be a pancake swap connector on this version, or at least in the master branch of this fork of the Hummybot repo.
Well, with just a little bit of luck, there are several floating around out there. And then it's just fitting them all together. That's not always easy. It sounds like it's easy, but it can be very, very, very difficult. Especially if one of the connectors was written with one version of Python and the other with another version of it, then it can be real pain to go into.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
In some cases, it might even be easier to write a new one from scratch.
True. Yeah. Because there's, like, it seems like Python is implementing these, like, sort of breaking changes with each version. And, yeah, I could see where that would be. That could get error prone very quickly.
It can get sort of migraine inducing, and if it gets to that level, let's just do a fresh one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if anything, you could just paste it into some AI tool and ask it to translate it as best it can and kind of debug from there, I suppose.
Yeah, that should work. Or ask several AI tools to do that for you, to debug for you before you start trying to debug yourself. That generally works an awful lot better.
Yeah, it's kind of like if dad says no, you got to ask mom kind of thing. So you go from like Grok to ChatGPT, and if they don't know, then go to Gemini. It's like gonna give you the right answer.
I mean, for language like Python, Grok, Claude, and Copilot are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I did a lot of the smart contract stuff. Bridge, Grok, you can paste a ton of code into Grok. ChatGPT, like, they don't really let you paste. I can see.
Yeah, but ChatGPT also tends to hallucinate an awful lot.
Right?
Yeah,
I think
it's.
I think ChatGPT is like pivoted to giving emotional advice to teenagers.
I have told my boss that if he ever brings me a ChatGPT analysis of numbers again, that I will at some point when I see him down in Australia pick him up and punch him in the face.
It's a very dangerous endeavor having ChatGPT analyze numbers. You have to double check everything.
Yep. And I get so sick and tired of it. And, oh man, have you seen? No. And I don't fucking want to, because I'll have to sit and redo all of it if I'm going to read it.
Right. Yeah.
Where if you refine it, if you run it through several instances to refine it first, you end up with something that's at least indicative. But with ChatGPT on its own, it's, hey, I had this really great idea after I ate 5 tabs of acid. And I wrote it all down, man.
Yeah. And you have
Yeah.
to read it carefully. And it's like, it makes sense. But then you're like, wait, I'm reading this close. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. Oh
All right.
man, it rubs me the wrong way so bad. I mean, I've got a great deal of respect for the people who take it through the stages, who take it through multiple engines in order to refine the output, in order to make something decent out of all of it. But I get so fucking frustrated with people who just chat GPT at once and think, oh, I have an answer.
Totally. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
you
we
have an
gotta
answer, but yeah, let's not
we,
hate on AI too much. Yeah.
we gotta wrap it up, I guess. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, David, and I hope we can
Yeah, but
do this
happy
again.
happy to. Yeah, why not? It's good stuff.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you for coming, and we'll
Yeah.
see you next time. Okay. So our had to drop the stream because our Zoom was end. So uh, oop. All right. All right. So. I keep trying to pay attention, but client me with problems. Oh. Okay. Those sound like good problems to have. All these clients. I'm literally fielding. Yeah, good subject matter. Why am I not seeing these on here? Never heard of it personally, so I can keep trying to pay attention. Yeah, good subject matter. Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm glad that that this is being taken well. Because I mean, I'm excited about it because I think it represents like a clear financial strategy. It's not just us adding more features. You know what I mean? It's not just me saying, "Oh God, well if I make this password manager, then they'll show up." Oh, because we all know at the end of the day that money talks, right? So we have to start achieving financially, and it also sounds like we're being leached from. So it's not just that we're not having any price action, it's just that any positive price action is actually being sort of stolen in a way from us. And we have to combat that. So this is like sort of like that's why I never understood when a lot of projects were like, this army and let's what's up something army, right? They're talking about their meme coin or whatever. But it's kind of like a battle. It's kind of like a war in the market because you're trying to defend your liquidity, and and then also go out into the other markets and get liquidity out of there and bring it back, like capture the flag kind of mentality. So when that dawned on me, it was kind of mind blowing and made me really excited about it, and just made me really want to get into this. And then I realized that this is also something that could be enhanced by involving the community, and um, David Morris is the one who sort of opened my eyes to that. And so, yeah, definitely excited about it, and I want to explore this more, but I also don't want to do it alone, and I want to, you know, I feel like I can, help educate the community on how to do this, give them some new skills, something interesting that they can learn how to do, and and in return, they can help us defend our markets and potentially bring liquidity into our markets, and they can benefit financially while doing so. So, and the best part of it is that there's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing even ethically questionable about it. It's just the nature of the game. Um, you're just taking you're essentially just grabbing up money that's just there. It's just sitting there waiting to be taken, and somebody's going to take it. You know what I mean? So it may as well be us. And that's where we can be successful and grow our community. Because the more success we have in the market, the more success we're going to have as a community. That's just, again, money talks, right? So we can say that we have all these futures until we're blue in the face and all that, but if the market isn't reflecting success, then those claims are really going to fall on deaf ears, I feel like. So we have to have, it's basically like this interplay between, our development, our capabilities, and then also our market strength, because the market really does show what people are thinking. People could say, oh, this is great technology, perfect project, all this stuff in the comments, but if the market is just sort of dead, then people are going to think something is rotten in Denmark, right? So we have to strengthen the market so that so that everything kind of jives, right? Jives with our rhetoric. Like our numbers are matching what the esteem we attribute to our technology. I'm literally fielding a call from a woman who wants to sue her for a rat problem, linking her to an attorney deep in pest control disclosure or pest control discourse while trying to learn arbitrage. The human brain was not designed for this, but here we are. Yeah, you might be doing too much. I'm not sure about that. You are definitely asking a lot of your mind on a Sunday, if it is indeed still Sunday for you. Scafer, if I could support Yada and the community and still make a little coin, or at least not lose any coin, I'm interested. 100% with you. Yeah, and I think that is exactly what we're talking about. We can support Yada and also make a little bit of coin on the side. And it sounds like you can even make some tokens from the supported partners, from what Mr. Morris was saying. It's always something while it's always something I'm trying to oh, it's always something while I'm trying to, yeah, okay. That live stream. I always need more money. So just give me the Cliff's notes later on what I need to do. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to dive into this more deeply in future live streams. So what I'm gonna do is okay, Schaefer, I have to be 100% honest with you. So I think you'll probably be happy about this. I subscribe to Restream, and they actually do AI edits for me. So and they do all the captioning, and like they cut like the sections out and place them at the correct places. And so yeah, I mean, I feel like flipping is sort of a tedious thing, and having you do it for $5 a pop is probably not even time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like probably have better things to do for $5. But yeah. So I have this AI tool that makes these clips automatically and publishes them. Yeah, like I have this AI tool that will do it automatically through Restream, and it actually does a really good job. And it's like, bang, it does it very quickly. But yeah, if you want to continue to clip, no worries. That's awesome. If you find something that piques your interest or whatever, I'll support. But I'm not spending any time clipping videos. Best I can do is be a subscriber. And that's fine. Anything that you can do to help is fantastic. Love it. Okay. Try to go. I don't. Oh, we have 21 views on X. That's not bad. We still have one person watching. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, David Morris was on. He was chatting a bit on YouTube. Yeah. So, anyway, what I'm getting at is that I'll tease out some clips from this and share that with the community. And so, if they didn't have the pleasure of joining today, then they can consume some content from the clips, and hopefully we can garner some interest from the community and from the folks that do participate. Maybe we can put together some kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say P&L because there should be no loss, right? So just be like, just show them our profits. Like, look at how well we're doing arbitrage with Hummingbot, and let's look at the tokens that we've earned in all the different markets that we're involved in. So yeah, this is something that I'm going to pursue because I don't want to just keep trying to add features to our technology and in hoping to attract more people. I don't think that's going to work. We have to have the strong market. We have to have a strong market strategy. And like David was saying, it's like right now people are leeching off of our markets. Like any gains that we make are being shut down. And it just kind of like annoys me, honestly, to think that like any of the gains that we made in the past, I was almost like blaming on the platform and their automated market makers, but it could have been just people running these bots and taking our gains away and dropping the price, making our markets attractive. It's a war, people, and we need to get in there. We need to get in there and fight with our monies. We only stand to gain, not a sacrifice this time. We're going to go out there and defend what we have and take what we can get. Now, what am I talking about? We're going to, how do I put it? We're going to go out there and take an offensive approach to our market strategy. So not only defense, but also offense. Okay. I think that about does it for today. Unless somebody has any questions. I hope that was valuable. I hope this wasn't too confusing. And I hope that our audio and technical issues didn't diminish value you got out of it too much. Okay, good. Yeah, I think what happened was I had Zoom on my freaking laptop open. I didn't even see it. So annoying. Idiot, what idiot. Okay. All right. Oh, we have some airdrops. Think about that. We have some airdrops, y'all, before we bounce out. We have some. All right, let's do it. There we go. We have Gumpcoin, who dropped their address. We're getting ready to head out, everybody, so drop your Binance Smart Chain address in the chat, and we'll get you added to the airdrop. It's the airdrop. It's airdrop time. Because once we end the stream, the airdrop is over. No hitting me up in the messages looking for the airdrop. You gotta do it while we're live. Got the wallet coming out. YadaCoin starting. You know, I think this is where like a co-host would be really useful. Like when I, you know, am like doing something or whatever, they can just like jump in and just start chatting, you know what I mean? I think this is like, I think that's why you really need a co-host. Just to like keep it rolling, you know? I don't know if we're ready for that. I don't know if the world can handle it. You guys thought I was wild. That's true. football games do have that. That's a good point. We're gonna play it one more time. One more time. Here we go. Please hold while we do an airdrop. We're gonna give out 25 Yada this time. Just because today I think was a special day for the stream. I think that we did great getting David Morris on, and I think that that's a really important thing, is to have people come on the stream and involve other folks. All right, we're giving away 25 Yada in this airdrop. You're making a new wallet? Okay. All right, here we go. I think you're gonna make a like a L1 Yada wallet is what you're talking about. So I'll just do this airdrop on Binance Smart Chain. So here we go. Oh, come on now. I think I go. Here we go. Let's scan it. Boom. Processing. And it's done. Everybody has their airdrop now. Thank you for joining, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys had fun and that it was educational value. Wig Tang. Okay, yeah, that's an L1. I'll do the L1 airdrops after this, after I end the stream. Those addresses. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining. I'll catch y'all next time. Probably tomorrow.